Hey guys, it's Max. How you doing? This is going to be today's option lesson. Let's bone up on options. Metal Enhancement Company, HIMS, HIMS, is up big today. Option trading is hard. I saw the HIMS chart this morning, and boy, it was impressive. Straight up. It looked like it was ready to explode off the page. The HIMS trade has been a hard nut to crack. Some even say hard to swallow. But I believe I'm finally satisfied. No matter how hard option trading is to understand and how big and long the most recent candle is, we can get a grip on it. This morning, I'm going to give you 3 different ways to ride this big bad fella. All right, number 1, we could buy the stock. Number 2, we could just buy options. Number 3, we could do some kind of spread, combination of buying options and selling options. And I'm going to probably recommend the max convexity spread, the 3-leg risk reversal that I've just fallen in love with. All right, so let's take a look in option strat. Now, you guys subscribe to option strat, right? Oh, you don't? Okay, well, because I'm going to show you all 3 strategies in option strat, and then I'm going to show you how to make a fair comparison in option strat. Okay, so I put this trade in like a half hour ago. We'll probably erase it and start over so I can show you how to build this trade yourself. But just let's review this trade really fast. This trade that was in 30 minutes ago, the market can drop 4.6% before we lose money, or go up 7%. And we just get to keep our credit. It's a $65 credit on a $500 trade, a little more than 10%. So easy, 10% in a week. This all expires Friday. If HIMS happens to keep exploding, and we move up, even to the 1 standard deviation, this is worth $237. If we move to the 2 standard deviation mark, this is worth $627. Okay, so let me show you. Let's build one of these ourselves. So how do we do this in option strat? We start with just start the bull put spread when I know this stuff's complicated. My max convexity spread is actually a combination of 2 different option strategies, a bull put spread and a long call. Anyway, so we need the bull put spread. And it's also a ratio. There's also a ratio element to it. In option strat, where you see the little red hash marks, that means there's volume at that strike. Like at 25, see that little explanation point? That means there's a wide spread and low volume. So like in the bid ask, it's bid at 30, asked at 40. That's kind of a wide spread. But we go up here to the 26, and it's bid at 55, asked at 65. That's tighter. Then this one's bid at 90, asked at $1.05. That's kind of a wide spread too. Okay, it looks like the best one's the 26. So we could sell the 26 for 55 cents. Sell that put. It's a bull strategy. We don't want to be naked, so we could buy the 20 put. Okay, so that brings in $50 credit because this 20 put only costs $5 to buy. It's all right. So that brings in $50 credit. Well, let's do this. Let's do this. Hit this one right here, and it links the legs, and then you can hit 4, and it gives you 4 contracts on both legs. All right, we did this 4 times, creating a $200 credit, so you could take your wife to dinner. Well, maybe we're going to spend part of that $200 credit. We're going to go add, buy, call. Okay. And then we're going to look at this bell curve of the expectancies and put it right there. Okay. All right. I have a little secret sauce in this. I have a trick that I do that anyway, if you want to learn how to do it. I'm thinking about releasing these kinds of trades, like 3 trades a week or something. But anyway, all right. Well, here would be something like I would do. This trade would make sense to me. You have a 74% chance of profit. HIMS can move down 7.8% before you lose money. This trade's better than the other one I did. and it can move up, but it moves up 11%. You still just get to keep your credit. You get to keep the $140. Okay. But if it moves down more than 7%, you're going to lose money. But guess what? Anytime you buy anything and it moves down 7%, you're going to lose money. The thing is, most everything else you buy, you also lose money down 6 and 5%. That's not the case here. That's not the case. That's why sometimes I call this loaded dice trade or a head start or whatever. Anyway, let's save this trade, and we'll call it the max convex. I need to stop changing the name. Max convexity spread, which is just a three-legged risk reversal. What a risk reversal is when a trader sells puts to finance calls. You sell put and buy a call, it's a risk reversal. All right, so in this case, we sold a put spread and we bought a call. All right, we'll save trade. This expires Friday. Make $140 today. Take your wife to dinner tonight. Right? Take her to dinner tonight. Hope that HIMS keeps going up. Hopefully cash this in later on in the week for $500 or something. If HIMS keeps going up. If not, you're just going to keep the $140, right? Unless only in the few worst cases here, about 25% of the cases, statistically, you're going to lose money. 3 cases out of 4, you're going to make money. 1 case out of 4, you're going to make extra money. 2 cases out of 4, you're going to make money. So 3 cases out of 4, you're going to make money. So this is a nice trade. Nice way, in my opinion, to express a bullish intent in HIMS. If it keeps going up, you're on board. If it doesn't, that's fine too, as long as you didn't miss it by more than 6 or 7%. If it drops under 25.62, you're done. But so let's look at that on the stock chart. Let's see what that means. So we'll put that on the stock chart. 25.62. So you're saying, if you're playing that trade, you're saying it's like buying the stock and getting it for this price, because it's kind of like getting a discount because of the sold option. It's like you're essentially in here. Or so in other words, the stock can drop to here and you don't lose money until it drops under here. It's the same way all these things work. All the stuff Jay does, all the stuff Defiance does, the buffer, they all work the same way. When you sell a premium, it puts you in a better position than somebody that just has an option alone or the stock alone. And I'm going to demonstrate that now. So here's the second part of this demonstration. How to prove that this is a better trade, or let's see. Well, let's try to ask ourselves, is this a better trade? Would I rather do this or just buy a call option or just buy a stock? So here's an option trick or an option strat trick. Just hit duplicate and it'll come up with the same trade already loaded in. Okay. And then what I want to do is I just want to remove the other options other than the ones we bought. We just bought this 31 call, or the only bullish one we bought. Okay. So that's one way to compare it. But now I need an apples to apples money, dollar to dollar comparison. This trade, you can lose $60 is the most you can lose. This trade, the most you can lose is $2,260. But you have a 75% chance of not losing. So here's the way I do it. Take 25% of $2,200. That's like $600. All right. So $600 worth of options is roughly equivalent on a risk adjusted. So we need $600 worth of options. So, all right, there we go. All right, so now we can compare the stock. We can compare the max convexity spread to the other way to do it, to just buying options. Okay, so the max spread, you get the $140 in your account. You take your wife to dinner tonight, and you're still in for the ride if the stock keeps going up. But you don't. But you have a huge buffer. So I think this is a decent a decent way to do it. Okay, if you wanted to, just buy about the equivalent amount of stock. You wouldn't buy $2,200 worth of options. That wouldn't be fair. But since this has about a 75% chance of winning, a 25% chance of losing, you can take 25% chance at 2,200, which is like 600, and use that to compare it. So on $600 worth of options, here's the deal. You lose 600 if the market goes nowhere. If the market goes down 7%, you lose 600. If the market goes up 7%, you lose 600. In fact, you lose 600 in all cases, unless the market goes up more than 16%. Okay? That's a long way. So I obviously like my trade better. Plus, this trade, you can't take your wife to dinner. This trade, you have to get $600 out of your pocket and send it to Charles Schwab. Send it to Tasty Trade. Right? It's not that you can't take your wife to dinner, but you can't take your wife to dinner paid for by this option trade. Now the good side of this one is if you do get a 2 standard deviation move, and that's the second little hash mark right out here at the end of the first hash mark's 1. That's 1. 2's right there. A 2 standard deviation move only happens about 3% of the time, but it's a $3,600 winner for you. So that's a 6-bagger because the trade costs you $600. That's not bad. Okay. That's not bad. But if you look at the other way, if you get a 2 standard deviation move, you only make $571. Okay. You don't make $3,000. You only make not only that, you only make $571, and this trade cost you $2,200 to put on. So you only make about 50% of your money, but that's pretty good return. 50% in 1 week. That's if it goes up and makes a 2 standard deviation move. At least you still have upside. You're still in for the upside. You don't have as much upside because you've given it up and created a buffer with some of it. Okay, so it's kind of up to you which one you like to do. It depends on the circumstances. There's no right or wrong answer. Sometimes it is the right answer just to YOLO the options, even though it's not mathematically the right answer. It's lower probability. Sometimes it's it would be the preferred strategy. More times than not, in my opinion, the preferred strategy, because you don't know what's happening. The market doesn't do the 2 standard deviation move. 97% of the time, it doesn't do the 2 standard deviation move. So, I mean, but I really like this way of generating an income. Making 10 to 15% a week on your stock picks. And occasionally when you hit a big one, 3, 5, 10% of the time, catching the little upside and making 500 or $1,000 or something, on a 1 or 2 lot trade. I mean, that's not bad, right? That's the whole idea. All right. So have we properly boned up on our HIMS knowledge? Are you guys satisfied now? Okay. Just making sure. Like I said, this has been a hard nut to crack. I'm not even going to show stock today because I forgot to show it, but let me just tell you the option comes out better than the stock also. All right, guys. But once again, it also depends on your circumstances. In some circumstances, you might rather just have the shares. But in a lot of circumstances, you come out mathematically better anyway with max risk reversal. All right, guys. Well, I certainly appreciate you guys. You have a good day. I will talk to you later.